Okay, so today we're going to actually work into or up to what we would say like a peak pose, like working to all of our movements or are geared toward loosening up the body in a way to possibly attempt a certain pose. And so that pose that we're going to just loosen up for, and we don't, if we, we can try it today, and if you've done it before, you can try it. If you haven't done it, you can try it, but we're just gonna listen to our bodies. And I'm already a little bit loose, and so I'm gonna just show you where we're headed. And if you don't think that it's in your practice for you, then don't panic. We're just gonna loosen the body, but we're gonna try for our Urdvha Dhanurasana, which is our upward facing bow. So this is the shape. So it's a back bend, the shoulders are open, the fronts of the legs are open, and the hamstrings are going to be really loose. So you're going to notice as we move through today, maybe bring some attention. I'll mention those parts of the body, like we're opening up the chest, and maybe visualize your body in that shape. You don't have to go for that shape. There's an alternative too. Maybe when we're opening up the quads, visualize those quads lifting towards the sky, or those hip flexors opening up in the back, rounding. So that's where we're headed, possibly. For now, though, we're just going to see if we can go an hour without hearing Maricopa County, Allegheny County, and key race alert. So let's ground. Find the present moment. If you want to lay on your back, you can. If you want to sit in a seat, you can sit in a seat. And as we move today, we have this idea of where we're headed for a shape. Like I said, we're going to maybe bring some awareness to the different muscles as we go. But most of all, we're going to let our space fill with self-awareness and not self-consciousness. Our self-awareness being fully within the self versus self-awareness. Or being self-consciousness, or maybe we're hypercritical or judgmental. So going fully within. So maybe our breath in is the breath to go inward. And then the exhale is just a letting go, any expectation. Breathing in some self-awareness. Exhale, letting go of self-consciousness. Just continue with the breath, the melodical breath, breathing in and out, maybe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Maybe in and out the nose. Seeing if you can go deeper within with each breath in. On your next exhale, pause at the bottom. And then breathe in, bringing hands to the heart. With our hands at our heart space, press the thumb knuckles into the chest. And we'll chant a single Om together. Maybe feel the Om in the physical body. So we'll exhale. Then inhale. Exhale. Om. Settle into our space. Let's release the hands. Maybe just bring them to our hips. Kind of bring the elbows back as if you were bringing the elbows together. Feel the shoulders open, maybe across the top or the back. Elbows reaching towards each other, pinching the shoulder blades together. Maybe go over to the right side, right ear to the right shoulder. Might feel that on the traps, side of the neck. Exhale the left ear over to the left side. We're breathing. And exhale, drop that chin to the chest. Then bring the head back to neutral. So ears over shoulder, let the shoulders go. And let's find those blocks. And maybe bring the blocks side by side on the mat, nice and wide. We're gonna place our forearms on the blocks, coming into a puppy pose on our blocks. Now, if you don't have blocks, just come into your puppy pose. And sometimes it feels really nice to kind of angle them towards one another and kind of bring the arms out. So the arms, rather than being just parallel, they're at an angle. So arrange those blocks in whatever way opens up that chest and the shoulder for you. And let's breathe a few breaths here. There's no hurry. Maybe bringing awareness to the space between the shoulder blades or tops of the shoulders, maybe the armpits, feeling those armpits stretch and open with the chest and the head and gravity seeking us towards the ground so that stretch can be right in the shoulder area, the chest. And exhale. Just a couple breaths. Just really sinking into the shape, sinking into the moment. And after your next inhale, hold the inhale at the top for just a couple moments. And then exhale, release those arms to the ground, finding more of a traditional puppy without the block. And then exhale, drag those hands under the shoulders. And then in our tabletop position, just kind of rock forward. And then rock back, knees towards the heels. Seat towards the heels. You can bring your knees to the heels if you want. Shoulders past the fingertips. And then just bring those glutes back to the heels and just rock back and forth. And then maybe make some circles. So as if the heart were drawing a circle on the ground. Shoulders go over to the right. Seat goes back over to the left. And then switch directions. Just getting some circulation in the shoulders. Waking up the back here as well. And now let's bring our shoulders over the hands. Walk the hands forward. Let's lift the sit bones up and back, bending Adho Mukha Svanasana. In our Adho Mukha Svanasana, feeling the backs of the legs open, maybe walking the feet closer to the hands than we normally would. Maybe bending the knees a lot. And as we bend them a little, as we bend the knees a little, feel the sits bones kind of push them up to the sky. And maybe that connection between the glute and the hamstring opens just a little bit. And now walk the feet back, finding your regular downward facing dog. Pause here. Exhale, roll forward. We're going to be in plank for just a breath. Now exhale, lower down the knees, walk the hands back and sit all the way back in child's pose. Be here for a breath in. Now exhale, walk the hands over to the right. The left hand stacking on top of the right hand, noticing the side body stretch on the left side of the body. Now breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, glance up at the hands, walk the hands through the middle on an exhale. And the bottom of that exhale brings us to the left side of the mat, maybe even off the mat. The right hand can stack on the left. Really see those Sits bones are reaching for the heels. Breathe in. And now exhale, walk the hands to the middle. And then we'll roll forward and then dip the hips down and come onto our backs. And then rocking back, bring the knees into the chest. We're gonna rock side to side. A little Apanasana, getting some circulation in that low back. And maybe you do some knee circles. One direction and the other. Or maybe you just hug the knees into the chest. Just waking up the back of the body here. And now let's let those knees fall out to the side, just like gravity. We're not pulling them out, we're just letting them fall out to the side. And then exhale, bring those feet to the ground. We're gonna set up for our bridge pose. So set those feet up. Maybe you can brush the back of the heel with the fingers. The feet are maybe hip distance apart. And then we'll exhale, drive those glutes up. Pause at the top of your bridge. Feel those hip flexors open to the sky. The tops of the legs are active. And then exhale. The spine lowers down one little vertebrae at a time down to the bottom. When you get to the bottom, let's reach the hands overhead. Keep the back on the floor. Maybe interlace the fingers and just reach those hands overhead towards the top of the mat. And then exhale, let's float the hands down across the sky so they come to the side. And then exhale, glutes drive up. Maybe shimmy the shoulders underneath the chest. The glutes are active, the feet press down. Feet are hip distance apart. And then exhale, lower down the low back. Let's hug the knees into the chest when we get there. Lift the upper back off the earth. Exhale, nose to the knees. And rock side to side. Nice job, guys. Let's bring our knees over the hips. The hands come above the head. So our knees are bent and they're hovering over the hips. Now exhale, drop the legs over to the right. Maybe the arms come out like a T, a little reclined twist. Knees are over to the right. You can stack the knees and maybe you bring the legs out nice and long. Notice that action in the spine. Breathe into the low belly. Exhale, let every little breath go. Breathe in. Exhale, press the hands into the earth as we bring the knees back to the middle. When those knees get to the middle, let's bring the feet to the ground, hands on the side, and then we'll find our bridge again. So press the glutes up into the hip bones, shimmy the shoulders underneath the chest. Feel those hip flexors open, quads are active, glutes are active. And now exhale, lower down, low back to the ground, knees come in, hug the knees to the chest. And then exhale, let's bring the knees over to the left side of the mat. They can be stacked and the legs can be bent, or you can bring the legs long, arms at the side, or maybe they're out like a T. If you want, bring that right arm up overhead. You feel the armpit stretch, maybe the shoulder open just a little bit. Maybe close the eyes. Bring some self-awareness into the space. And then exhale, bring the arm out like a T again, if you had that right arm above the head. And then we'll bring the knees into the chest. You can rock side to side. Nice job. And then we'll exhale, maybe plant the feet down. And let's kind of roll up so we're in a seated position, but walk those hands behind the glutes so the fingertips point towards the heels, towards the sits bones. Roll the shoulders, kind of back, shine the heart forward. We're going to come into a reverse tabletop. So we'll inhale, and then exhale, press the feet down, the glutes drive up. And maybe once you get to the top, you can move those hands to the spot where it feels just right. So we're going to do this a couple times in a row. Let's breathe in. We drop the head back. And then exhale, lower down. inhale at the bottom. Exhale, lift the glutes, lift the hip bones up. And exhale, lower. And if that doesn't feel good on the shoulders, come down into your bridge and do some more bridge flows. Otherwise, just keep moving, warming up the shoulders. Rise to the top. Exhale, lower. Exhale, press up. Breathe in at the top. Exhale, lower. One more time, breathe in. Exhale, drag those glutes up. Hip bones up to the sky. And now exhale, lower down. Bring the legs out long, walk the hands towards the sides of the hips. Shimmy those sits bones down. Then inhale, lift the arms above the head and then melt over those legs. Maybe bending the knees so we can open up that low back as we fold forward. Maybe you notice it behind the legs, finding your Paschimottanasana. Breathe into the low back, breathe into the backs of the legs, inhale, and exhale. One more breath in. Exhale, let the breath go and we'll roll those shoulders up over the hips, stack them over the hips. And now bring the right leg to bend and send that left heel maybe underneath that right glute so the leg is bent, and then maybe stack the right knee over the left knee. If that's not doable, then just bring yourself to a cross-legged position where the right shin is in front. And then find that strap or scarf or whatever you got going on. And then we're going to find our Gomukhasana arms. So with the strap in the right hand, let's lift the arm up to the sky, palm facing forward. The strap is dropped behind the back, right? So now bend at the elbow, strap lowers down, the tricep is facing forward, bend so maybe the elbow is over the shoulder as much as you can. Bring that left arm up, thumb to the sky. Now flip it down, thumb down, and sweep the arm behind the back. And then find that strap with the left hand. And then open up. Try to think of bringing those elbows together behind the back. We don't want this to be a back bend, so pay attention if you're like going like this. We're not arching the back. The back is neutral. We're just bringing the shoulders back. And that happens when we reach that left elbow back and the right elbow back, and that strap is there to help us. So let's breathe here. Exhale. Maybe closing the eyes. We're not self-conscious about where our elbows are, where our knees are. We're just breathing into the space. Now one more inhale. Now exhale, release the left hand from the strap, reach the right arm to the sky. Let the strap come down to the side. Roll the shoulders a couple times, up, forward, and back. Up and forward. And then switch the direction of the legs. So if you had the right shin in front earlier, bring the left shin in front and the right in the back. Or if you had your knees stacked, do the opposite stack of the knees. I'm just crossing my legs this morning. So whatever you were doing, just do the opposite. So let's bring that strap into the left hand, reach the left arm up, and then bring it down behind us. The left elbows to the sky. Right arm comes forward, thumb comes down, and sweep the arm behind us. And then maybe pull those elbows back. We'll breathe in and out. One side. Again, it's not a back bend, so notice if you're kind of rounding the spine. I just caught myself. So tucking the pelvis, elbows reaching back towards either the trees behind you or the shelves behind you. Opening up the chest by opening the shoulders. Let's breathe in one more time. Now exhale, release the right hand. Left arm can come up, let the strap come out to the side. Maybe we bring our arms up and down or in front and cross. Just wiggle out, whatever might feel good. Maybe you take your neck rolls or your shoulder rolls. One more breath in wherever you're at. And then let's exhale, rise up to the front of our mat and find an Uttanasana. Let the head be heavy and imagine those sits bones reaching for the sky and the spine really stretching out with the head heavy. Breathing in and out. Maybe visualize those hamstrings, the back of the legs, opening in our fold. This is our standing forward fold. We did our seated forward fold. Now we're going to stand in our forward fold. Let's bend the knees, rise up all the way to stand. And then exhale, hands come to the heart. Ground through the feet. Let's move through a couple sun salutations to warm up the entire body. Maybe take a moment to scan the body. Notice what parts might be more awake now than they were before when we first started. And we'll inhale with the arms to the sky, Pranayasana. Then exhale, fold it forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, hands come to the shin of the thighs, reach the crown forward, a flat back, feet ground. Nice job, guys. Exhale, fold forward. Now inhale, let's step it back to plank pose. And if you would rather bring your knees down, bring the knees to the ground. Otherwise, we're in plank for a breath. Breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. And now lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. And now inhale, Urdhva Svanasana. We're going to be here for just a couple breaths. So lengthen through the feet. You'll be picking up the top of the left foot and ready, bringing it long. The right leg, bringing it long. Let the hips be heavy. And just gravity kind of pulling the thighs and those hip flexors open. Breathe in. And now exhale, roll the toes under, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathe out. Inhale, reach the right leg to the sky, bend the knee. Let's stack the hip over, the right hip over the left. Just a breath. Nice. And exhale, bring the foot down. Inhale, reach the left foot to sky, bend the knee. And the left hip stacks over the right. Exhale, foot comes down. Let's inhale, glance up with the hands, step the right foot forward, lower that left knee down. Inhale, rise up with the arms. And then really sink the hip forward. So you can keep the hips in the middle, but if you sink it forward a little bit, that knee over the ankle, you might notice the hip flexors open. Let's reach our arms to the sky. And exhale, bring the hands behind the head, and now pinch the shoulder blades together, elbows reaching back. And then maybe a slight back bend. The hips forward, chest up, and the head back. Exhale, shoulders over the hips, bring the hands to frame the foot, curl the left toe under, step everything back, Adho Mukha Svanasana again. Exhale. Good. Inhale, step the left foot forward, lower that right knee down, and we'll set up for our low lunge on the other side. So let's lift our arms to the sky. And now rather than having our hip over the knee for like a low lunge, let's do a low lunge with that left knee kind of over the ankle. And that right hip drops to open up the hip flexors. Yeah, arms to the sky. Now behind the head. And then shoulder blades, elbows pinch. Breathe in. And then exhale, maybe a slight back bend, leaning backwards as we send the hip forward. Breathe in. And now exhale, bringing everything up, framing that front foot. Let's step it back. Plank pose, Pahalakasana. Hips lift, heart hovers. We reach for the back wall, or the back gate, or whatever you are. The heels reach back, crown of the head forward. Exhale, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Pause here. Maybe lengthen, lifting up the right foot and reaching the toes back, lifting the left foot, reaching the toes back. Those hip flexors open as gravity presses on the back body. Chest is up. Breathe in. Now exhale back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Last downward facing dog with the series here. Breathe in. And now exhale. Step the left foot forward between the hands. And then the other foot. I did it backwards, right then left. Now bend the knees. Let's rise up to stand. Exhale. Hands come to the side. Nice job. Really nice job, guys. Inhale, arms come up to the sky. Let's exhale to bring the hands behind the head, elbows out to the side. Now pinch those elbows back, shoulder blades together. Breathe in. Exhale, reach the arms to the sky. Inhale. Now exhale, fold it forward, Uttanasana. In your forward fold, bring the feet apart. Maybe a block comes underneath the heart, or you can just have a hand on the floor. If you have a block, bring that hand to the block and the right arm reaches up to the sky. Now from here, maybe bring the hand to the sacrum, that low back. Maybe you have the back of the right arm, like that forearm resting on the back, and that left hand kind of finds that left hip. We're opening up the shoulders. Then our legs are here, active, opening at the back of the leg. Breathe in. Exhale, reach the right arm to sky. And then sweep the right arm down. Let's bend the knees and then step it back to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Hips reach for the sky. Maybe notice how the right arm feels compared to the left. Let's breathe in. Exhale, stepping the right foot forward, lower that left knee down. The left hand plants on the inside of the foot. Reach the right arm to sky. The other right arm, there you go. Reach it up high. Maybe it comes to that low back and we feel the heart open. If we send that left shoulder forward, the right shoulder back, breathe in. Exhale, arm to the sky, bring the hand to frame the foot. Let's step it back, Palakasana. Now we're not going to do our Chaturanga Dandasana. Instead, we're just going to lower it down and rise right up to our Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Here we go, heart shines forward. Maybe the hip flexors open just a little bit more than they did yesterday. Exhale, back to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Breathe in. Now exhale, let's step our left foot forward, right foot forward, then our left. We can bring that block between the feet, between or underneath the heart. The right hand comes to the block, bend the knees. Exhale, reach that left hand to sky. Yeah, and bring that left hand maybe to the low spine, or maybe to that right hip. Opening up the shoulder, breathing in. Exhale, breathe out. And now bring the right arm back up to sky. Exhale, bring the hand down. Move the block out of the way. Let's hang in Uttanasana. Exhale, ground that left foot. Step the right foot back. Lower the right knee down. Here we are, low lunge. Arms to the sky. Just a touch base here. Breathe in. We open the shoulders up, elbows back. And now the right arm on the inside of the foot. Left arm to sky. A little twist. And then maybe that left hand comes to that right hip or to the low back. Breathe in. Now exhale, bring the hand to the sky and then bring it down to the earth, framing the foot. Curl the toes of the right foot under, the left foot steps back. Here we are, plank pose. But let's lower down our knees. And exhale, lower down the chest and the chin. So the sits bones are to the sky, the chin and the chest are down. Now let's inhale. Bring the upper body, the whole front body to the earth. Maybe the hands come under the shoulders and just lift the heart a little bit as if we're just kind of peeking over an edge. Breathe in. And now exhale, press back to child's pose. And in your child's pose, really reach those sits bones towards the heels. The hands reach forward as if you were just kind of like if your back body were taffy, just stretching out that taffy. And then the muscles may be open as you reach one sit bone to one heel, and then the left sit bone to the left heel. And just go back and forth, maybe noticing the side body, the side of the back, the sides of the back along the spine. So the right side and the left, breathing in and out. And exhale. One more breath. And then we'll exhale, roll everything forward. Step the right foot between the hands, and the left foot comes between to the forward between the hands. Bend the knees, rising up to stand. And then exhale, hands come to the heart. Be bending the knees, shimmy out the knees. You can shimmy out the shoulders. Pulling the shoulders up, back and down. Inhale. Now exhale, ground into that left foot, stepping the right foot back just maybe half a meter. The right heel grounds, the toes can face towards the long edge, or they can face forward. You can bend the front knee a little bit or a lot. And exhale, bring the arms out like a T. Maybe bring those shoulder blades together as the back of the hands go back. Feel the chest maybe open. And then bring the hands forward. Maybe the hands come together. And then reach them forward as you reach the top, the front, upper, or the upper back. And now bring the shoulders underneath the ears, chest forward, over the hips kind of. And then bring the hands to grab opposite elbows behind the back. Breathe in. Exhale, let's hinge forward, our Parsvottanasana. The left leg can be bent a lot or a little. And maybe we'll exhale to release the hands to the ground. And as we release the hands to the ground, let's come onto the ball of that right foot, grounding into that left foot a little more. Drawing some awareness to the back of the leg, to the hamstring, where the glutes and the hamstrings connect. Let's breathe in. Breathe out. And now let's bring the right foot forward. So now we're in our forward fold again. Bend the knees a lot or a little. And then straighten out those legs. Bring the left foot back. Kind of where that right foot might have been. We're going to come into on the other side. We're going to rewind though. So we're going to start fully folded over the right leg. Notice the back of the leg. And now we'll come on to the ball, that left foot, maybe rising up a little bit out of the right leg, the chest lifting, grounding the right heel, the right foot, breathe in. Exhale, lower the left heel. Let's rise up to a flat back. Bring the shoulders back, sits bones towards the back of the mat, and then grab opposite elbows behind the back. Draw the belly button into spine, guys. Our core is going to be working here. Exhale, arms come out like a T, bend and press into that foot, that front foot, then come up to stand. From the top, let's pinch those shoulder blades together, backs of the hands go back towards the back of the mat. Nice, inhale. Exhale, shoulders come forward, under the ears, palms come together above the head. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Let's step everything forward and pause here for a breath. And another breath. Observe the body with self-awareness. Looking within. One more breath. And then exhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Now step the right foot back, lower the right knee down, and then rock the hips back so the right hip is over the right knee and that left leg comes straight. So Urdvha Hanumanasana. We just did pyramid, we're doing half pyramid. You can find your blocks if you want. And they can be kind of supporting the hands here and really press the heel down and lift that left toes to the face. Now from here, offer a breath in. And then exhale. Now let go of the flex of the foot. Let the foot roll over to the left so the pinky edge of the foot is towards the earth. And then flex the toes towards the face. Just slowly flex and feel as you hinge and surrender, a different part of the back of the leg be open. Breathe in. And then exhale, relax the foot, bring the foot back to neutral. If you want, bring the toes to the face or roll the foot in and pull the foot towards the face. That big toe edge of the foot kind of at an angle towards the right side of the mat. Now exhale, bring the foot back to the middle. And let's bring the left knee back to meet the right. Let's bring the knees mat distance apart and sit back in our wide-legged child's pose. And breathe in and out. Let's breathe a breath in and fill the entire sides of the body. And our exhale, letting go of any self-consciousness. And breathe in some peace and steadiness. Now exhale, let's roll up and bring the knees side by side and then sweep the right foot forward. You can then wiggle it forward or bring the left knee back and then straighten out that right leg. Whew, this side might be different than the other one. Your blocks are there if you want your blocks. Pressing the heel down, flexing the foot towards the face, and then surrendering over front leg. Exhale to maybe release the flex and then drop the foot out to the right, the pinky edge coming towards the right side of the mat, and then flex the foot towards the face again. The foot's at an angle. Exhale, release the flex, bring the foot through the middle. Maybe you leave it in the middle or you can drop it over on the inside, so towards the left side of the foot. The toe, big toe, also known as big toe, can come towards the inside and then flex towards the face. Breathe. Exhale. Nice job, guys. Now release the flex, the foot comes back to the middle. Now sweep the right foot back so our knees are side by side. If you have your blocks, maybe place the blocks on the side of the foot. So one on the left side of the left foot, one on the right side of the right foot. And then maybe you curl the toes under, so the toes are on the ground, the heels are a little lifted. We're gonna practice a little Urdvha or camel pose. So let's roll our shoulders up and back a couple times, and then up and forward. You can always bring a blanket underneath your knees if that's gonna feel good. And then let's roll the shoulders back, let the shoulders settle, and then bring the hands into the back pockets. Or maybe make some fists with the hands and press those kind of along the low back. And now let's send our hips forward. Imagine those thighs are turning towards each other. So the thighs are active, pressing forward. And now lift the chest, lift the heart, and then send the head back. Hips are forward. Here's our slight back bend, Urdvasana. You can be as deep as a back bend as you want. Now let's exhale, bring the shoulders over the hips. Release the hands, maybe shimmy out the shoulders, maybe come forward into a little child's pose, stretching out the back if that would feel really good. And then exhale, bring the shoulders back over the hips and the hips over the knees. Yeah, now roll the shoulders up and back. You can either make fists and press into that low back, or you can make the hands in the back pocket. Now notice it's the same kind of activity with the thighs and the hip flexors and the low back as when we're in our upward facing bow pose. So just feel that in the body, that we're going to send the hips forward, thighs are active, the glutes press forward, and roll the shoulders up and back, lifting the heart and then dropping the head back. Maybe the hands come to the blocks, or maybe they come to the heels, or maybe they stay in the back pocket, but keep the hips forward, drop the head back. Make sure you can breathe. One more breath. Now exhale, bring the chin to the chest. Maybe the hands come to the blocks at the side, and then the shoulders over the hips. Nice job, guys. Let's bring the hands down and find downward facing dog. Exhale. Then pedal out the feet. One knee and then the other. Now from here, let's lift the right foot to the sky. Now bend that right knee, stack the hips. Breathe in. Now exhale, let's pivot on the left foot so the toes face the long edge. Drop that right foot behind us and then send the hips to the sky, rotating the back, that left foot towards the back of the mat. Coming into our wild thing, the chest towards the sky, the right arm reaches towards the front of the mat. And if that's not quite accessible, maybe coming into your side plank. And if you come into side plank, you can try to do it from there. The right foot drops back, left foot towards the back. Now exhale, sweep the pivot on the feet, sweep the right hand down. The right foot comes back to the mat, downward facing dog. And then bring the feet mat distance, or the knees mat distance apart. Let's find child's pose again. Breathing in and out. Let's inhale up to downward facing dog. Curling the feet under, hips to the sky. Find the foundation with the hands, a foundation with the foot, or both feet. Lift the left foot to the sky, bend the knee, stack the hip, left hip over the right hip. Hands press down, chest reaches for the top of the thigh. Breathe in. Now exhale, pivot on the right foot so the heel comes towards the right side of the mat. Drop the left foot off the mat to the floor so the left toes face back. Now the right toes pivot. So the right toes face back, chest to the sky, the left arm reaches towards the front of the mat. Breathe in and out. And then exhale, pivot that right foot. The left arm sweeps over, back to the ground. Now we're in a three-legged dog, the left foot to the sky. And now bring the left foot down. Chest towards the thighs, reach, and then exhale, lower down. Wide-legged child's pose, exhale. And sigh. Let yourself settle into this child's pose. Maybe the hands reach behind us towards the feet. Notice the beating of the heart. And exhale. Let's inhale, reach the arms towards the front of the mat. Let's roll onto our stomachs, coming all the way forward. The front of the body is on the earth. Now on an inhale, let's lift the heart. And then bring those heels to come over the ankles so the soles of the feet face the sky. So here's our bow pose. So this is our option when we're trying our upward facing bow. If upward facing bow isn't accessible, then we're gonna come into bow pose. And we've done this one before, so we lift the heart, sweep the hands back, reach the hands towards the heels. With the heart, maybe the thighs come off the earth. So that's an active Dhanurasana. And now lower down the thighs, lower down the arms, lower down the chest. Pause at the bottom. And now bend those knees again, heels or soles towards the sky, lifting the heart, lifting the chest. Now maybe the hands find the ankles. And you can kick the hands into, or the feet into the hands, lifting the heart. Keep the knees close together. They're not close, but they're not wider than the hips. Try to keep them hip distance. Lifting the heart, maybe you rock back and forth. And now lower down the knees, the thighs, lower down the chest, and the chin, come down to the front body. And then we'll exhale, press it back to child's pose, lengthening out that spine, that taffy spine. And maybe you bring the hands to one side and then the other. And we'll breathe here for a couple breaths. Feeling the energy move, feeling it settle, and move again and settle again. And we'll inhale, let's come forward. We're gonna come down onto our backs. So if you wanna give your Urdvha Dhanurasana a go, then I'm gonna cue us through it. So you can try your upward facing bow. And if it's not quite there and you wanna do something different, then try the one that we just did, our Dhanurasana. So we can start with a block if we want. We're just gonna do baby steps through it. So our feet are gonna be hip distance apart. And let's just practice with our hands first, because we bring our elbows to the sky and our hands come beside our ears. So our palms are gonna be flat on the ground. And if that's not quite accessible with the palms to the ground, it might be a little tricky. So just see if you can get your hands the palms on the ground, and they're beside your ears. The fingers point towards the shoulders, and the fingers are pointing towards like the heels. So just to clarify, right here behind my head, that's going to be the top of the mat. So if I say bring the chest to the top of the mat, this is the top of the mat, where my head is, where our heads are, and the bottom of the mat is where the feet are. Because when we get upside down, it's like, wait, what's the front? I forget, you know, this feels awkward. So the palms are on the ground. What we're going to do first is we're just going to practice with it. We're not going to lift the chest. We're just going to keep our palms on the ground beside the ears, and we're just going to lift the glutes and the hips towards the sky. So now do you feel what's happening with the shoulders? The shoulders are kind of coming towards the ground. So lower everything down. When we start to lift the hips, the arms automatically move. So we're just going to feel that. So let's press the feet into the ground, lift the hips, lift the glutes, just like we do in bridge. And now what we're going to do in our Dhanurasana, lower everything down and watch for just a second, and you'll see what we're going to do for our upward facing bow. So as we press the hips up, then we're going to press the hands down, and then I'm going to start to lift my chest and lift my hips even more, pressing into the kind of the heel of my hand, and then pressing up. And maybe you stop with the crown of your head on the ground and the hands there, and then you press using your shoulders up, and then maybe you readjust the hands. Some people readjust the hands when they're on the crown of their head. I kind of do it when I get to the top. And then when we lower out of this, we lower down, bending the elbows, crown of the head, and then we dip the head, lower the shoulders, and then the back comes down. Okay, so let's kind of roll everything out, take a little break. And if you want, you can get your block handy and we can step by step it with a block in a minute. So feet to the ground. Let's bring our hands, palms down on the ground, elbows to the sky. So we're going to cue all the way through it this time. All right, so press the feet down, lift the glutes, lift the hips up. Now they're about partway up. Now press the hands down, lift the low ribs, lift the chest. Maybe come under the crown of the head. Move the hands if you need to. Try to keep the elbows in and the knees hip distance apart. Now press into the hands, lift up through the chest. And now you're going to look kind of towards the top of your mat, your gaze. Feet ground. And then lower down by bending the elbows, coming to the crown of the head, to the back of the head down, upper back, low back, and hug the knees into the chest. And I can't see you guys very well because of your camera angles, but if you guys have any questions, I can unmute you, or you can unmute if you have any questions. And you know, after a back bend, it feels really good to find our Apanasana. That's with the knees into the chest. And we're going to go just a little bit longer today, guys, just to get a good Shavasana in. So we might go like 2 minutes past or 3 minutes past. But a really nice job. Rocking side to side. Maybe sending one leg out, bring one knee into the chest, and then just switching back and forth. So many good takeaways from today. We can even work on our wrist, having our wrists kind of back what they are, and down with the or in Urdvha Dhanurasana. Now let's bring our legs out long. Let's roll maybe over to one side and let the top leg, so I'm going to roll over to my left, let the right leg go over the top, the right knee to the ground. Just a gentle twist. Now let's bring everything back to the middle. The other side, the back body on the earth, knees come to the chest. And then send the right leg out long and the left knee over across the body. Another gentle twist on the other side. Now bring that knee back to the middle. Maybe you place the feet on the ground, let the knees come together. Maybe you find your Shavasana right here. Letting that energy and freshness from the inversion with the head being down, letting that settle. And just relaxing. And really letting go. Relaxing those glutes, or as my nephews say, those buttermilk biscuits. Just let them relax. The backs of the legs, those hamstrings, the soles of the feet, tops of the legs. Shoulders, that shoulder girdle. And space between the shoulder blades. Relaxing the inner ear, that part of the body that helps us have our equilibrium, knowing where we are in space, our proprioception. All of these things really being highlighted in our practice today with our upward facing bow. Relaxing the palms and the wrists and the forearms. And then turning our awareness back inward. That self-awareness can replace self-consciousness. That we can watch ourselves from the inside. You're welcome to stay here in Shavasana a little longer if you want. Never want to cut it short, but I want to be respectful of everybody's time and any celebrating that might take place here. If you're ready, come up to a seated position. And maybe bring the hands to the heart space. Yeah, roll the neck a couple times. Let's rest the eyelashes on top of one another. Maybe the corners of the mouth reach for the heaven. Exhale. Inhale. Om Shanti. 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 Namaste.